I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. Before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together, because I believe in you. Well, hello, welcome to episode 48 of Wise Advice, and I want to just let you know, if you missed it, episode 47B was an interview that a guy named Adam asked me to do. He has a website, thetransformationcoach.me. I found him on Instagram. He found me on Instagram. I've been kind of following him. He kind of gave me a little bit of inspiration. And he invited me to come on his show, and I've listened to that episode a couple times, and I got to tell you, I'm kind of proud of it. I think it went well. As I listened to it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel, and so I think it's good advice. If you missed it, go back in, look through the feed, look for episode 47B, and check that out, just to get the information from it. So continue to thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. My goal is to make this a daily show. I'm going to eventually work it in where it's a continuous 7 days a week. I'm working on a schedule, trying to figure out how to get that done for you. Because I know this journey needs daily focus. It needs daily accountability. It needs attention to us daily. So, and I know in my own journey, when you take a day off, it's so hard to get back in the routine. So my intent will be, as we ramp up here, my intent is to move it forward so that it's a daily show, 7 days a week, and then have them so when you wake up in the morning every day, you can start your day with wise advice and kind of get rolling. So in order for me to do that, I need your show ideas, your comments, your celebrations. What do you got going on? Send it in. Go to FatDag.com, click on podcast, send it in. I got a new website that's going to launch in about a couple of weeks or so. So it may be on a listen now link when you get to FatDag.com, but you'll find it. Go to FatDag.com. You'll find out where to shoot it in. But let's go ahead and get that done so that we can make this a continual 7-day show, and we'll just work it. But be proud of what you're doing. What you're doing is hard work. What you're doing takes focus and discipline. Not a lot of people do this. Not a lot of people stay in the game as long to get it done. But you're doing it. If you're listening to the show, you're engaged. I said at a meeting the other night is we talk about how do you get back on track and if you get off track. And well, first of all, you're going to get off track. It's just going to happen. Everyone gets off track. So you got to get back on track. And so my definition of back on track is simply listening to the podcast, checking in at on Facebook, or checking in and Connect, going to a meeting. All of that gets you right back on track. So whatever you got to do to get engaged and stay in the process and do that really will keep you moving in the right direction. So just want to open the show with that. Now, Patty writes in out of New Jersey. Patty says, hi, first of all, thank you so much for your inspiration. From what I read of your post, my weight loss journey this time around seems similar to yours. I joined and quit Weight Watchers countless times, but this time is different. I am laser focused. I measure and track everything, always stay within my points, only use weeklies for special occasions. I want this weight off. I know how to lose weight. I follow the program. My graph is a straight downward line. I've lost 58 pounds so far. I need to lose 80 total. I do not eat all my points if I'm not hungry. My weekly weight loss averages 3 pounds. I was asked to bring a doctor's note in, and my physician gladly complied. She is so happy for me. Despite my doctor's approval and my hard work and success, the staff at the weigh-in tell me every week I'm headed for a heart attack if I don't slow down. Some members think I am cheating somehow. That's just it. I'm not cheating at all. I'm working the program, and yet at the meetings, the same people who tell me I should slow down talk about how they don't track certain foods because they deserve it, or they don't exercise because they are over 50. Excuses. I feel like I have to hide my success. Did anything like this happen to you when you were consistently losing your weight? If so, how did you handle it? Thank you, Patty. Patty, I kind of experienced a little bit of what you're talking there. First of all, I measured and weighed everything as well. I tracked Tic Tacs when I was losing weight. In my weight loss journey, I tracked ketchup. Everything that went in my mouth food-wise, I tracked it because I wanted to follow the program, like you said, laser focused. And I believe for me, and it sounds like for you, that was instrumental in my success because that taught me how to make the sacrifices that turned into healthy habits. And I don't consider them sacrifices at this point. I consider them, the things that I had to give up were things I needed to give up. So there are things that I still eat that probably aren't the best choices, but they're things that I'm not willing to compromise on. And so it teaches you how to eat. And I put this on Connect the other day. I talked about a typical meal for me. I would go to Chick-fil-A. Shout out to those folks out there. But I would go to Chick-fil-A and I would get a 12-piece nugget. I would get a large Coke. I would get barbecue sauce. I'd get a medium French fry and ketchup. Now that's about a 35-point meal. I only was getting 30 to 40 a day to begin with when I was at 263. I think I started at 48 points a day. So that meal quickly put me out of points. So I had to use weeklies to have dinner if I had that meal for lunch. And so because I was regimented, because I was laser focused, because I was tracking everything I ate to include the ketchup, the ketchup was 2 points. The barbecue sauce was 2 points per serving. I'd had 2 of those. That was about 4 points. So what I had to do was to say, if I'm tracking everything, I'm going to stop eating points when I'm out of points. So it didn't happen overnight, but slowly I started looking, and I had to go to bed early because I was out of points, or I had to dig into my weeklies, or I had to, then eat salad or eat a 0-point dinner. And so the next time I went to Chick-fil-A, I said, well, maybe I don't need the Coke. That'll save me 6 to 8 points, and so therefore I can have 6 to 8 points for dinner. And then I started losing weight, and then I started losing points as well. So months later, when I go back there, I said, well, maybe I don't need the French fries. Maybe, the French fries are 13 points. And so I'll swap out the French fries for a fruit cup. I'm not a big fan of the fruit cup. I didn't use so many apples, but I was disciplined. I said, this is the only way I can go here. I enjoy going here. The only way I can continue going there is if I swap out the fries, if I take away the ketchup. So I've gotten that meal down slowly down to a 9-point meal. And I did it gradually by eliminating the soda, swapping the French fries for a fruit cup, eliminating the barbecue sauce, eliminating the ketchup. And what happened is all of a sudden, the fruit cup and the fries were a battle. And so some days I wanted the French fries, some days I wanted the fruit cup, and I couldn't make up my mind consistently. And then I found the all strawberries trick for me, where I could substitute everything in the fruit cup for all strawberries. And a cup of strawberries to me is way better than a plate of fries. So now, without even thinking, I walk in, I order nuggets, I order a fruit cup, I order water, move on, it's a 9-point meal. I had to do point shaving. Now, the only reason I was able to do that was because I was focused. If I was willing to go negative in my tracker, if I was willing to say, what, screw it, we're here at Chick-fil-A and I don't have a choice, I didn't come here, my whole office came here, I've got to eat, and I'm just going to track it, and I'm going to have dinner because I'm having dinner out, and I'm going to track it, and it's going to go negative, which I'm glad you were tracking if we get to that point. But if you're so willing to bust it, you don't really learn to change your eating habits. So kind of the long-winded answer to celebrate your 58-pound loss and say, great job, and you're going to get to your 80 pounds. If you've got to 58 with this amount of focus, you can get to 80. It's the lifestyle change that you're making. If you carry it through for the rest of your life, you're going to be in great shape. And so the only thing in your email that we probably did a slightly different is generally I ate most of my points. For the most part, I ate my points, and then for the most part, I ate my weeklies. It depended on the week. There were some weeks that I didn't touch my weeklies, and I certainly didn't eat if I was hungry. But if I had the points, I wasn't going to use them on something that wasn't healthy. So if I was going to dig into my weeklies at night, then I would make a really good choice with them. I considered the weeklies of that danger zone of, yes, you can eat them, but those should be reserved for things that, hey, I didn't plan well in the morning, so I'm going to have to use them for dinner or for a special meal. And so I want to make the best choice with them that I can. I want to get the value out of them. And so I wasn't going to go grab a handful of Snickers bars just because I had 42, weekly points left off at the end of the week. So it's just like you, wasn't cheating, just following the plan. And the best thing I heard about all of your email is you've consulted your doctor. If your doctor's following your progress and your doctor's checking on you, that's what you need to focus with. You got the help of your physician. You have the discipline. You have the focus. You're going to make goal. Patty, I can feel it. You're going to make goal. If you get 58 pounds down, you're going to make goal. You have all the tools in your belt to do it. So go get it done. Focus on you. Focus on your journey. Ignore anything out there that's not in line with what you're trying to do and get it done. Thanks for your email. Appreciate that. Next up, Diane writes in. Diane says, "Hi, Mike. I listened to your podcast about the Girl Scout cookies the other day, and I love the conversation you introduced about whether or not eating a cookie is worth it. You are so right. There's so much at stake with the sugar. Sugar was a huge issue for me. I'm a huge Reese's junkie, and it's what kept me from diving into this program when the changes came about and the staff had to do the program before it was introduced. I fought it tooth and nail. Last year I finally got on board, and now, just like you with the cookie, the candy really isn't worth sacrificing my goal or my peace of mind. It isn't that I can't have it. It's that if I get into the sugar again, I may not get out, and I'm not willing to take that chance right now. At Thanksgiving with my pecan pie, which is about 30 points per serving, I'll have half a piece, and that seems to be different. But candy is like crack to me. I totally get what you're saying about this, and I thought I was the only one. Isn't that silly? I haven't had any Reese's since Christmas. That is huge. Just wanted to let you know how relevant the stuff you're sharing is to all of us. I've been sharing about your podcast in my meetings, and everyone is loving it. Keep up the good work you're doing, Diane." Diane, thank you for that email. And so listen, I'm a firm believer is you can have whatever you want. Right? The plan says you can have whatever you want, but here is what I think is the defining moment when I determined that I was going to make goal. So knowing that I can have whatever I want, I just talked about having French fries. I can have them. And every time I tell someone that I have a fruit cup and I say I have the fruit cup because I didn't have the fries, anyone who's followed the Weight Watcher program, I will always get at least one comment of someone saying, well, if you want the fries, you can have the fries. Right, because I can have whatever I want. The thing the piece that's missing is I don't want them. It's not that I used to love them. I don't want them. I'm not saying I want them and I'm not going to have them. I'm saying I'd rather have a fruit cup. You know, the fruit cup makes me feel so much better. I get a lot more energy out of it. The fries were weighting me down. I can feel the grease in them. I do not want them. So I can have whatever I want, and French fries is not it. Sometimes. Sure, sometimes I am. It depends on but as a daily occurrence, no, it's not going to happen. So that's really funny is what I want changed. And what I want changed because I followed the program. So, you know, I just don't physically want it. So great job to you. And I'm in the same boat with you as candy. M&M's, Reese's, all that stuff that I used to eat by the handful, I do not want. I'm not saying no to it. It's not hard for me to walk by it and not get it anymore. But it took that discipline. It took staying on the plan. It took staying focused and tracking everything so that you have to stay on the program. You have to then slowly give up things that don't fit into your plan. And generally speaking, the things that don't fit into your plan is the candy, is the junk food. And because if you put those into your plan, you quickly run out of points and you don't get to have dinner, and you slowly start making the adjustment to, would I rather have dinner or would I rather have Reese's? Well, when you put it that easily, it's a no-brainer. I'd rather have dinner. You know, they're the same points. I don't know. I can't remember now, but how many, you know, a Reese's peanut butter cup has got to be, I'm guessing, completely guessing, 8 to 10 points. You know what you can have for dinner for 8 to 10 points? I'd rather have dinner and move on. So yes, you're doing a great job. You're doing a fantastic job. You can have whatever you want. And so what you're going to want is the good stuff. So when you recognize that, you're on your way to making this thing happen. So great job. Thank you so much for sharing this with your meeting. Thanks for sharing it with your friends. That's how we get the community to grow, and that's how we have this daily accountability to just kind of keep us in mind and keep us on track and keep us focused. And so thank you for that. Ann writes in. Ann says, I'm a lifetime member from the mid-1970s. I've gained and lost and gained some more over the years. I started back on Weight Watchers January 3rd of this year, and it's my last time. I've lost 23 pounds and 10% of my body weight. I'm more comfortable in my clothes and wearing some that were too tight for me to get into in December of 16. Back in ancient Weight Watcher times, we could not decide on our own goal weight. It was decided for us with a range. I'm 5'2", and I think my goal is about 130 pounds. That was reasonable, and yes, I reached it. I haven't been successful for years and decided that this time I would make my goal one that I didn't seem unreachable. So I set my goal really high at 160 pounds. My question is, was this the wrong thing to do? My thinking was that when I reach that goal or get close to it, I can always lower it. Is that reasonable, or should I go for a healthier goal now? I've seen others on Connect with pretty high goals too. I think they have the same mindset. Would you mind addressing this question? I would really appreciate hearing what you think is the right thing to do. I binge listened to your podcast today while I was sewing. I love it. Thanks for your dedication to us. You make a difference. Thanks, Anne. And, thank you. Well, first of all, let's hit the obvious. 10% for you, 23 pounds down. That's phenomenal work. It doesn't happen by accident. It's focus. It's discipline. You're making it happen. You've got there. If you've got 10%, you've heard me say, if you binge listen, if you've hit 10%, you can hit goal. You have all the tools. You have all the plans. You know it works. You're working it. So congrats on going to reach goal. I'm proud of you. You will get there. Just stay focused to the program. So the fact that you were at one point lifetime, you know it's possible. You know that actually you can do it, and you're just doing it. So great there. So here's what I say about setting a goal weight. It's going to be different for everybody, and everybody's motivated different. You have to find what motivates you first off. For me, I was motivated by staying on the plan. That was my number one motivation. I was motivated by seeing how well I could stick to the plan and how regimented I could stay with it. That kind of motivated me. I didn't really start setting a goal weight per se until I got really close to it. I now, looking back, I'm a pretty firm believer that your goal weight is actually a goal feeling. It's a goal look. And when you get there, you're going to know it. When you can look in the mirror, when you can look around and you can say, hey, you know what? I don't want to lose any more weight. That's goal. So if you set yourself at a goal, and let's say you set your goal at 160 pounds, and you get there, and you get on the scale at 160 pounds, and everyone's cheering, yeah, you made goal. And in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, but I still want to lose 30 pounds. Well, that's not goal. And so what happens is now you're wrestling in your head. Because now you have to lose 30 more pounds, but then complacency sets in because you've hit goal. And then, so you've never really hit a point where you hop on the scale for the very last time and not want to lose weight. So when you hit your goal weight, you still want to lose weight. So I say what your goal weight should be, it should be a look, it should be a feel, but it should be a place where you hop on the scale for the very last time and say, you know what, I don't want to lose any more weight. So that's what I say is what goal. Set a goal that you're going to love. Set a goal that every morning you wake up and that's the best thing you got, and you don't want to give it up. You don't want to drift away from that. And if you set it high and you set it at 160 to trick the program so that you can get the tools quicker, I understand the logic behind it. But the mindset doesn't lock in. The greatest part of my journey, I've said it before, the greatest part of my journey was not from 260 down to 200. It was not from 260 to 190. The greatest part of my journey was 190 to 172 because that was the point. I didn't even know I could do that. I didn't even know it was possible. And I didn't have that goal in mind. What I had was I want to stick with it. And when I got to my goal weight, and I truly hopped on the scale and went, oh my goodness, I do not want to lose any more weight. It was the most incredible freeing feeling I've ever had. So I'm not giving that back up. So you can do this. You're absolutely going to do this. You're down your 10% like we talked about. You can get it done. Go get it done. Set your goal weight when you get close and set it as a goal feeling. So set it as a goal, how you want to feel when you get there, and you're going to get there. So, Ann, thanks for your email. Appreciate that. May out of Pacifica, California writes in and says, hi, FatDag. I wanted to share with you that I completed a half marathon today. I've been training since January, consistently running 3 times a week. It took focus and discipline. And having learned these in my Weight Watcher journey after losing 60 pounds and reaching lifetime, it helped me cross that finish line. I was also able to cut my time by 20 minutes. I never thought I'd be a runner before Weight Watchers, and now I'm always looking for the next race. I have twin 11-year-old daughters that share this passion as a non-scale victory. Thank you for letting me share this truly amazing feat I was able to accomplish. Have a great week and good focus. Well done, May. A half marathon is one of those bucket list items, and there's only a handful of us that are able to do it. When we start adding weight, it becomes even more difficult. So having that and still being healthy enough to get it done is an amazing accomplishment. And then having the focus, discipline, and drive to get it done. There's no rightly reason why we want to go run 13.1 miles other than to prove something. And you prove that you did it. You prove that you can train. You prove that you can work it out. And I'm proud of you. And so the fact that you lost 60 pounds to get there and reach lifetime, that is no joke there. So congrats on that. Losing 60 pounds doesn't happen by accident. It took focus. It took discipline. And you're at lifetime. And you're running marathons. And rejoice in that feeling. I want you to take a moment and go, wow, I couldn't have done this before. And I want you never to ever forget that. I want you to compare where you could have been or what you would have done, how you would have tried this, before, and see just how difficult would it have been compared to how wonderful it felt to get it done. So, man, let's set something up. I do a little bit of running, as you know, and I'm actually committed to 5Ks now. I like the speed involvement, and make it a race, and so I'm going to focus there. But at some point, I want to get another half on. So maybe we'll find a way to do a group half somewhere in the middle of the country. Who knows? So thanks again for your email, May. Really appreciate it. And folks, what are you celebrating? I want to share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on podcast, send in your celebrations, send in your comments, your questions. I'll work them into the show. I want you to email your celebrations. I want you to be proud of what you're doing. You're doing hard work. We need to tell the world just how it is, and you need to tell yourself how good it is. So if you want, reach out on Twitter, reach out on Instagram at Wise Advice, and thank you for sharing the podcast on Connect. I love it when you tag me online. I see it all the time. I'm not able to respond to a lot of them. I'm kind of a lot of different places, but I do read pretty much everything that I can see. I scroll forever to get there, and I really, really appreciate you reaching out. I'm honored to do this. I'm honored to walk with you. But that's going to do it for this time. Remember now that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goals and go after it. I wish you good focus.